quickly, the PCA norms, and there has been a big clamor, and there seems to be some meeting of minds. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but there is a big clamor that should PCA norms for those 11 banks be relaxed so that there could be more lending to the MSME sector. Do you believe we can do this at this point in time? Because, you know, we are in the middle of the NPA clean out, and yet there are these MSMEs that are fund-starved, and there is this war cry that maybe we should look at relaxing some norms as far as these 11 banks are concerned. Could this be counterproductive, or do you believe you can afford to take that risk?
Look, again, let me not go into the direct details of the PCA norms. What I find problematic sometimes is in arguments that, oh, Basel says this, why don't you go down to the Basel level? Well, it is true that on some issues, Basel may be a little more flexible than the Indian situation, but there are many other places where the Indian situation is much more flexible than Basel. Ultimately, if we go strictly by Basel, we will get accused of being in the thrall of foreign hands and so on. You're listening only to foreigners. On the other hand, if we do some things based on the Indian situation, you're accused of not following Basel, especially when it's tighter than Basel. I don't think this is a debate that is really a serious one. What you have to ask is, what are the Indian conditions that require a certain level of precaution? And the RBI as a professional institution should be trusted if it can explain why that level is needed. By all means, ask for an explanation, but then let them use their professional judgment. Now, on the MSME, you know, go to any country in the world, find an MSME which says it isn't starved for funds. The reality is MSMEs are hard to lend to, which is why they're always clamoring for more funds. The right way to get more funds to them is to improve the formalization, the kind of business environment they operate in, which is why I think if the sort of improvement in doing business ratings that we've seen in the recent past is real, then in fact that's a good way to help the MSMEs. But simply opening the tap wider for them or saying less provisioning, this, that, runs the risk of making loans that then come back to roost as higher NPAs. My worry is that we have to do a proper assessment of the loans we've already made. What has been the experience with the Mudra scheme? What has been the experience with other MSME lending? And my worry is the NPAs there are far bigger than we think, especially because there's a constant clamor to say, don't declare it an NPA. That suggests that we should be more worried rather than less worried. And, you know, I think the government is right in going on a path to expanding sort of the possibilities of MSMEs. The right way to do that is to improve the business environment and to improve the credit process, but not to relax credit standards. And that, I think, is an important distinction which we should keep in mind.
Dr. Rajan,